Good morning, everyone. We're going to do live trading. You guys are going to trade with me, which is going to be epic. I'm going to show you trades on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and how I trade. So I'm just waiting for everyone to join. I'm going to share my screen. And my screen is going live. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the live, everyone. Hey, 80, good morning. I'm here with Slavik and Maria. Good morning, everyone. Congratulations, whoever. Whoa, we're already 51 people in here. Everyone, smash up the thumbs up button. I'm doing amazing. Good morning, all of you. Had the best morning. Congratulations, all our trades from yesterday have been cleaning up. Huge gains on our trades. Make sure you always join the Telegram group. The link is in the description. You can see all my live trades. Good morning, Alex. Big boss James. I'm doing amazing, Ahmed. Good morning, everyone. Maria, happy today as well. Yeah, she's smiling. Good morning.
Smiling?
Why are you smiling? She thinks Bitcoin will pump. That's why she's exciting. Bitcoin, we're going to go straight into trading, so you can ask me as many questions as you want. I'm going to do trades that I'm going to show any alt you can ask me as well, and I'll look at. But I'm going to do very fast trades today and very fast live, maybe 20-30 minutes. So ask your questions, ask the alts that you want to check out, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to trade. Slavik, your arms are pumping, people saying.
What?
Your arms are pumping.
What means my arms are pumping?
Like muscly.
Yeah, it's good, right? I said to my people that I only make bicep because this is the most important thing, you see. Because nobody see this. Everyone see this. This is the only thing what you should train, bro. And you know how I train it, right?
It's not true. It's because he jerks all the time.
This is what I told you. This is how I train it.
Sometimes you switch hands.
Yes, because this is if I switch hand, I tell you some good thing. If you want to have, how it's called, the unknown, the unknown woman, you have only to sit for 5 minutes on your hand till you don't feel your hand, and after it will be crazy. Try it out. Yeah, the stranger. Yes, the stranger. It's called the stranger.
See, guys, so many wisdom you can pick up on this channel. It's insane. Solid content with a lot of value.
Yes. One hand trading and one hand. Because you hear it, Wolf of Wall Street. You have to control your emotions. So therefore, and 6-7 times a day, and then you can control your emotions. Don't be emotional while trading. This is the reason why I'm so successful in trading. Watch my Telegram channel yesterday. What I did in the night, I traded. I did not,
So that's Slavik's strategy. Just make sure you release everything so you're not too emotional when things are moving. Let's jump in. Hit the thumbs up, everyone. Let's get 130 people in here. I know. Starting getting gray. I'm 35, and look at the old man, and he's like, I'm 25 years old. It's true. Okay, let's jump into the technicals. Tell me if you can see my chart. I'd love to know if you can all see my charts. Can you see this Bitcoin chart right now? I'm going to go back in. Ooh, Bitcoin pumping. Could you guys see that Bitcoin chart just then? It lagged. I have to play around with it so it doesn't. Let's go see the charts. So this is Bitcoin's chart on the 4-hourly. Let's see if you can all see it clearly. This is the price of Bitcoin moving on the 4-hourly. Were you able to see the chart? Danojet. Just then, were you able to see Bitcoin chart? Beautiful. Okay, let's get started, everyone. So I'm going to show you. So first, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you how to trade. I'm going to then show you how to pick your trades on TradingView. So we're going to be trading on Bybit. We're going to be picking our trades and setting up the trades on TradingView. And then we're going to go through different alts and find any potential trades. And then I'm going to share the trades on Bybit and show you how I set up the trades on Bybit. It was lagging or working, guys? I want to make sure it's working beautifully before. Yep, I'm going to show you how to do long short. I don't use Binance for longing and shorting, everyone. I use lagging, working. Okay, let's test again. So I'm going to go into the charts again. Let me see if it's lagging or if it's clearly showing the charts. Bitcoin at 20,994. Let's go back in. Was it clearly visible? Okay, let's go. So yeah, it says 3 FPS, but it's not. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so first we're gonna see how I trade, so where I trade. So first we're going to trade on Bybit. So I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. So if you want to trade like you're going to see me do in these videos, in the description of this video, so on your phone in the description, Bitcoin and altcoin trading on Bybit. This is what I use for trading. You get a $4,800 deposit when you deposit Bitcoin. So you have to, when you use this link, you sign up and it gives you the trading software. And then if you put deposit Bitcoin, you get 4,800. You can get, that's the maximum bonus. If you don't use that link, you only get 400, but we're going to trade using this link. So you go in the description, you click this link and you sign up. It will then download for you. It will take you to a website and download this trading software. And this is Bybit. This is what I use for trading. And then when you get this software, you go to home and you click this person at the top left and you can sign up and start trading. You have to log in. So let's check if everyone saw that clearly. Everyone, so first thing is you go down in the description, you click that link, you sign up, and that's what we're going to be trading. So then once you're trading, you get this account and you have to deposit USDT in here, or you can also buy Bitcoin. So if you go here, you can see you can buy Bitcoin somewhere here. You can deposit or you can buy. So here you can deposit or you can buy Bitcoin, and that's how we're going to add Bitcoin. Or cryptocurrency. I use USDT, Bitcoin, everything. So in this account, I have 185,146. So it's up in the last few days, maybe $15,000. I've got 4 Bitcoin in here, $85,000 worth. USDT, 46,000. Doge, 11,100. So that's up 1,000 since I bought it. Bit, I've got 10,800. So everyone see that? So again, you have to sign up to Bybit. The link is in the description. You then get that trading software. I'm totally glad today actually clear that you need to deposit to get the bonus. Yes, you have to, you don't get all the bonus. It depends how much you deposit. You get pieces of the bonus. To get that full 4,800, I think it's 2 Bitcoin in total to get the full 4,800 that you have to deposit. But you get, like, depending on how much you deposit, you get different bonuses. The total you can get is 4,800. So once you got that Bybit, I'm going to give you time. Everyone get that link. So again, link in the description. If you have another link, use mine. Sign up using this one, because you also, when you sign up to this Bybit link, you join this Bitcoin trading competition and you join my team, and we can win $8 million of prizes. That's why I'm starting to also show all my trades on the live trading, because I want us to win this $8 million prize and become the #1 trading team. So you sign up to Bybit and you also join this Bybit trading team. It's the same link you can use, but if not, you can click both of them to sign up. So sign up, you get that trading. Now, deposit Bitcoin in there. So I'm going to wait till everyone signs up and deposits Bitcoin, and then we're going to get started. So I'm going to show you the trades I have open right now. So I've got a Bitcoin trade open. It's $108,000 trade. $101,806. It's up 37%, so 4,297. It's a 5 Bitcoin trade. I used $11,000 of margin to open this trade, and it's 9x leverage, so that makes it a $101,000 trade, up 4,200. I've got a trade on Ethereum open as well, up 116%. I used $197 of margin. That's how much I used to open the trade, 230 in the profit. And I've got this Dogecoin trade. I used $195 of margin, so I used $195 to open the trade, and I'm in profit $575, up 294%, which is crazy gains. Congratulations. I want to make sure everyone could see that. Let's see if it's still. So could everyone see those trades? The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. You could all see it. See it on my screen. It disconnected, but you guys all saw it. Okay, perfect. So that's the trades I have open. So now we've got a Bybit account. Now you're signed up and you've joined my Bybit trading team. You need to deposit Bitcoin in there.
Let's in the evening meet here again.
Beautiful.
I like this frame, like this.
Because your
this
face.
This like mother and father, you know, always only the half of the face showing. Okay, let's see a little bit later.
Crypto Slavic, guys.
Yes.
Everyone hit the thumbs up. Let's get more people in here. Share this video. On the bottom right, you're going to see this share link on your phone. Click it, or your laptop. Click it, share it, and share to WhatsApp. I'm going to show you how to make thousands of dollars from your phone by trading with small amounts of money. My goal is we're going to win this $8 million prize, everyone. So let's... Kadir, you should have got the bonus. I'll put you in a chat with Bybit. If you deposited 2 Bitcoin, you should have 100% got the bonus. You use this link. Okay, Kadir, message on the comment section, message your Telegram name, and my team is going to contact you, but contact me on Instagram, James Crypto Guru. The link is in the description, otherwise fake people will message you. On Instagram, there's James Crypto Guru. The link is on the description. Click me and then message me, and my team will follow up. Tell them that you deposited and you didn't get bonus, then we'll connect you with Bybit and they can tell you. So let's start. So now we've got our Bybit trading account, and in here, I've got $4,000 to trade, and I've got all these trades open. So you can see here that I've got available $4,000. Let's make it a little bit more. Let's add. So I'm going to transfer money now from my spot account to my derivatives account, USDT. I'm going to put another $10,000 in here. Confirm. I moved it from my spot account. That means my normal wallet into the derivatives account. So now you can see I've got $14,000 in here to be trading. I just moved $10,000 across. Everyone saw that? So that's how you move money. So your spot account, what that means is you've got this spot account, and your spot account is your holdings. So I'm holding Bitcoin, I'm holding USDT, I'm holding Doge, I'm holding Bit, I'm holding USDC. These are the coins that I'm actually holding in the exchange. And Bybit is a very safe exchange, everyone. Bybit is one of the biggest exchanges. It's never been hacked. It's the 3rd biggest exchange. And I know the founder and the CEO in person, Ben. He's a great guy, and it's a big company, 2,000 people. In my opinion, it's a very safe exchange. I use them a lot. And they're the 3rd biggest exchange you can follow up based off of Bitcoin trading volume. I don't hold any ADA in this account. I have other accounts as well, which I'll show you in the video as well. Okay, and in derivatives, this is where you're doing leverage trading. So in here, I've got 0.3 Bitcoin, I've got USDT, 30,000 that I just moved some. That's all I have in derivatives for trading. And, I've got 0.3 Bitcoin in here. I didn't even realize. So I've got $6,000 in here. Nice. So I have $6,000 to open a Bitcoin trade in here. I didn't realize I had that Bitcoin in there. That's 6K, which is beautiful. And so in here, I'm using USDT for these trades. Now you've all signed up to Bybit. I also contacted Bybit. They said James' link expired in May. Not correct, Kadir. The link works. I can see people signing up using the link every day. But message in Instagram and my team will follow up with them. So let's keep going. So yes, you can turn $100. So for example, Jignash, this trade on Doge is oh no, that's on Bitcoin. This trade on Doge is why does it keep moving it? What the hell? I don't know why it doesn't let me click. Okay, let me switch. This trade on Doge I used $195 and now it's in profit $563 for example. But if I used $100, that would be $200. I will share a screenshot on Discord. Okay, beautiful. My team can also message in the Discord, but it's better to use directly on Instagram or Twitter because these are registered accounts, because you're going to have many people that are... Guys, I will never ask you to send me any Bitcoin. I will never ask you to do anything. The only thing is use the links in this video descriptions, because there's many fake accounts of me pretending to be me messaging people. Be very careful. Only ever use the links in this video's description. There's lots of scammers. Be very careful. I'm not going to ask you to sign up to any mining things. I'm not going to ask you to ever send me any cryptocurrency. There is many fake accounts of me. If you go on Instagram and you type Crypto Guru, you're going to see pages of fake accounts of my face. These are not me. Pass on this message to everyone. I will not ask anyone to send me Bitcoin, and I will never, or cryptocurrency. I will never ask you to sign up to mining. Only talk to the links in the description of my videos. Make sure the links match, and sometimes they change one letter or one number. So be very careful of this. Everyone, we have 204 people in here. Smash up the thumbs up button. Okay, beautiful, Kadir. Okay, let's get started. So now our account is ready to trade, right? We've got in here, I've got USDT, and I've on Bybit, I'm signed up. I've got these already profitable trades, and now we're going to be making some new trades. And again, everyone, I also post all trades in here in this Telegram. Crypto Guru Alerts. There's now 865 people in here. We only started it 3 days ago. There's already nearly 900 people in here, which is epic. And you can see here that my team shares that I'm going live 15 minutes before. They share the lives. And look, Bit, this was a trade that we took yesterday. Bit hit our take profit, which is beautiful, which I'm going to explain now how to do it. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, good morning, congratulations, those were the trades. Dogecoin hit our targets, all the trades we made the last few days. Bit long, this was the Bit long, which was a 20% profit trade, that hit our targets. CRV, I think CRV also hit our targets, but we're going to check it out now. So make sure, again, you sign up to Bybit, the link is in the description. If I withdraw USD from my Binance account to my Bybit newly registered, yes, correct, Chef Raz. If you move money into your Bybit account, you will also get the bonus. Bybit, once you sign up and deposit Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, I don't think it's just Bitcoin, it can also be USDT, etc., you will get the bonus. I agree, Nisha, we're trying to register the Instagram and get it verified. There's so many fake accounts, but Instagram is very difficult with this. I don't know why. They're very difficult to try and get it verified. Twitter, I'm verified. I have that verification. But let's start. So now, we've signed up to Bybit. We've deposited Bitcoin or USDT or money to cryptocurrency to trade. Now we're going to identify the trades on TradingView, and then we're going to open trades. So get ready now. You've got your Bybit. Make sure you signed up. You deposited. Everyone is ready. Who's ready to trade? Let me know. Type yes if you're ready to trade. No if you're still signing up or you're still doing something. Who's ready to trade with me? And guys, I have to always say this is not financial advice. I'm going to show you the trades that I think that are good to take, and I'm going to open these trades. You have to always do your own due diligence. It's like a legal thing. You have to make sure you're responsible for your own trades. I'm going to show you how I trade. Okay, everyone, let's get going. Beautiful. I'm ready, just like SpongeBob. Zavone ready. Grupa's ready. Mehmet is ready. Let's do this. You can ask me trade. So engine, I'll check out, Drew. But we're going to go in. First, I'm going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, the main ones. And then let's get started, everyone. So now you're trading with me. So now we go into tradingview.com. And in the crypto master course, I teach you how to set up all of this, like all the different indicators. You can download tradingview.com. So now we're looking at Bitcoin. And this is the price movement of Bitcoin over time. And you can see here that I had a trade from earlier, from yesterday. This was the trade that we had set on Bitcoin. It was a long. See here? And I'm going to show you how to read this trade. So the way you read these trades is the bottom down here. That's where the stop loss is. So that means what a stop loss is that's when I'm going to show you how to set it up. When that price gets hit, it will close your trade, which would close the trade at that stop loss, which is sitting at 19,775. So that's the stop loss. The trade we had open at 20,345. So it's around $700 in the profits, right? The trade opened in the middle. You can see here, 20,345. And the top is where our take profit is. That's where we will close the trade. It will automatically close when this take profit is hit at 22,654. So that's how you identify a trade. Now that was an old trade. It's already in the profits, but now I'm going to set a new trade on Bitcoin and where I would open a trade. So now we're going to find out and this is where you need to really take the crypto master course to understand really how I'm trading the whole thing. It's like 12 lessons. The link is also in the description. But right now, this is the price of moving. This was of Bitcoin. This was when we reached, in my opinion, possibly the bottom at 17,500. And we started moving up on this trend line. Now, the upper end of this trend line is this $23,200 area. But right now, you can see the stochastic is quite overbought on the 4-hourly. So what that means is whenever the stochastic is above the top of the dotted lines, this is usually a time to be selling. Or shorting. When it's below the dotted lines, that's the time to be buying. And you can see that clearly when we look at the history. When we go back and look at history of it, watch. And it works better on the longer time frames. So we can see here, this most likely will be time to sell, but this is just one indicator that we have to use in tandem. You can see here when it was down on the bottom here, that was the time to be buying, right? That was the time to be buying Bitcoin before the movement up at 19,700. When it was up here, that was the time to be selling when it was at 21,000. So you're looking at the top, you're looking at the price here, and you're looking at the stochastic on the bottom being overbought above those dotted lines. When we were down here, that was the time to be buying. It was oversold. And when you look on the longer term time frames, this even gets very, very apparent and more, it gets stronger on the longer term time frames. Everyone following along with me? Everyone understanding about the stochastic, the position on the stochastic, and when to be closing or going long or going short. Everyone following along with the stochastic? Beautiful. Anyone have any questions so far? Where the stochastic is? Okay, let's keep going. I'll answer your questions when they load. So you can see here on the weekly time frames, if you followed my videos on November, you can see also on Twitter, I have that video posted. I called the day of the top on November 11th, and I said I'm closing all my crypto positions except my vestings, because I'm a venture capitalist in the crypto space. I closed all my positions at 68,000 on the day of the top on November 11th. Now, how did I know that was the top? There was a few different indicators that, in my opinion, it was the top. And that was the time to actually close positions and go short from 69,000. Why? We had low volume. We were reaching the all-time new high, but we had very low volume. Now, what is volume? These bars, as I teach you in the Crypto Master Course in more detail, but a very quick summary is volume. These bars show how much Bitcoin was bought and sold on that week or that day or whatever time frame you're on. So during that week of the top, on November 11th, on that week, there was 131,000 Bitcoin bought and sold on the week of the top. You can see here, there was 131,000 Bitcoin bought and sold during that week, which sounds a lot, but that's actually very little volume. And that's how I knew that was one indicator of the top. Another indicator of the top was the stochastic here on the weekly. It was very overbought and it crossed to head down. And remember, whenever the stochastic is above the dotted lines, that means it's overbought, and that's the time to be selling or shorting. So you can see here that on that week, it was very overbought, right? On that week here, on the 11th of November, it was super overbought and it crossed to head down with low volume. And you can see here that the time to be buying was when it was below the dotted lines on the stochastic. And that lines up perfectly with the bottom of 2021 July. May, June, July of 2021. And you can see that the stochastic there was oversold. So very below the dotted lines around July 21 when we hit the bottom at 29K. Everyone clearly see that? So on the weekly, you can see that it gets even more apparent. The 200, the rainbow one is the 200 weekly moving average. 200 weekly moving average. And in the Crypto Master Course, I teach you how to set up the indicators. So let's get back in. So that's how you knew that, and as you can see here now, the time to sell was either here, recently it was on the April, that was the time to be selling, April, and you can see it the same. It didn't go all the way to the top here. It came close to the top of the stochastic, but it crossed to head down, and you can see that is the same position that it was on April 4th, when it was before we had that big drop from around, when we dropped from 48,000 all the way to 21,000. You can see that the stochastic. Now again, the stochastic right down here. What would you be doing now on this stochastic below the dotted lines? I want your answer in the chat, everyone. What would you be doing with the stochastic if you follow this concept with the stochastic below the dotted line? What is the answer? Is it time? Oh, it cut out again. Is it? Hopefully you can still hear me. Is it time to be buying or selling based off the stochastic indicator down on the bottom on the weekly? Correct. Chingzi buying, Chris buying, Gary longing, exactly. Longing and buying is the same. King is buying, D-John buying, Alex, I would use Slavic stranger tactic and then buying, exactly everyone. Every single one of you is correct. I'm teaching very well. It's time to be longing. So when you're seeing all these other people, all these influencers, all these famous people, all these chartists telling you that time to be selling is now or going short, they are very wrong. They are very wrong. And I can clearly say this. They were very wrong. The time to be closing your trades, closing your Bitcoin and going short was when I called it at 69,000 on November 11th. That was the time to be closing all your positions and going long. You don't need to get the day of the top like I did. I've just got 20 years of experience. It doesn't need to be at the day of the top. Like if you sold here on also at 60K, you would have followed the same. Then you would have bought down here. Then you would have sold up here. And that's how you really compound your assets, everyone. That's how you compound your money. For example, if you had $1,000 Bitcoin here and you sold it, then you bought it back here. Then you have now $2,000 worth of Bitcoin once you sold it up here, right? And if you sold it up here and you have now $2,000 of Bitcoin, you sell it up here and you buy it down here, now you can buy three you're still buying $2,000 worth of Bitcoin, but if it goes back, now you will have $6,000 of Bitcoin, right? So you're compounding it each time, and that's the key. That's how you really make wealth. All this, like Warren Buffett and all these people that tell you buy and hold, hodl, they're all wrong. They're all giving you very wrong advice. If you see anyone saying hodl, if you say anyone saying hold the line and just hold, they're very wrong. Why? Because you don't need to time the day of the top, but you can start selling towards the top and you can start buying towards the bottom. But if you hold from 69,000 and you hold your whole portfolio and you watch, if you have $100,000 and you watch it slowly get decimated 95% down to $5,000, you lost $95,000. You do not hodl. You do not just hold and pray and this is emotional bullshit. You want to make your money. Rule number one is protect your capital at all costs. Rule number two is don't forget rule number one. Whether your money is $1,000, whether your money is $50,000, whether your money is $100,000, whether it's $10 million, your goal is to not lose your capital. It's to make trades with maximum 2% of your portfolio, and you want to be selling towards the top, because if you sell, for example, if you sold towards the top right now at $69,000, if you sold everything like I did, say you sold $1 million worth of stuff, now you have $1 million worth of money, of capital to buy the bottom. And if it then goes back towards the top, your $1 million can turn into 95 million. Say you had $1,000 worth of capital at the top of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, and you sold it into cash at $1,000 USD, USDT, BUSD, USDC. You have $1,000 worth. Now you have $1,000 to buy the bottom, and when it goes back up, you can now have $100,000 from your $1,000. Say it goes back up, all the alts go back up. Bitcoin goes back up 3 times. Your altcoins go back up 50 times. You then will have your $1,000 can turn into hundreds of $1,000s. And this is the point that everyone really understand. Do not, every time you see one of that influencers saying hodl, maybe on my Twitter someone says hodl, but maybe they just, I have teams that are posting on my Twitter and my Instagram. Tell them, James said do not hodl. If you even see on my own Twitter someone messaging hodl, make sure you comment, do not hodl. Do not hodl. What you can do is you can DCA. You can sell towards the top and you can buy towards the bottom, and you can sell towards the top, or you can buy every month and you can DCA. So sometimes you're buying the top, sometimes you're buying the bottom, but just buying all at the top and holding it as it drops is not the best strategy. You got to protect your capital. So now we're going to go closer and we're going to open some short-term trades. And why short-term trades is very good is because even with, for example, this short-term Dogecoin trade, this trade was this Dogecoin trade, I used $195 worth of capital, 191, initial margin. And now this trade, this $195 is worth $563. So in 2 days, I turned that $195 into $560. I turned this Bitcoin trade in 4 days from 101. I used $11,000 of capital. I now have $4,300 in the profits. It's 37%. This Dogecoin trade is 288% in its profits. This Ethereum trade, it used $197 of capital. So I still have my $197, plus I've made a further $227. So that's now, my $197 has now turned into almost $430. This Dogecoin trade, it was originally $195. Now it's $195 plus $563. So my $195 is now almost $800. Right? And this Bitcoin trade, this is a bigger one. I used $11,000. This $11,000 trade plus $4,000 is now nearly $15,000. So that's the key. So now we're going to open a short-term trade on Bitcoin. Now we're going to identify the trade. So now everyone, on the 4-hourly, is it time to be buying Bitcoin on the 4-hourly? Question, with this stochastic on above the dotted lines, is it the time to be buying Bitcoin or shorting Bitcoin? Okay, I have to show it again. I'm going to see your answers. Hopefully you all saw this. I don't know why. If anyone can help me how to fix that, I would love to know how to fix that so it doesn't keep disconnecting. Shorting. Exactly, everyone. The people that are saying shorting is correct. On the short-term time frame, on the 4-hour, exactly, going down, short, exactly. Jamal, everyone, you were correct. On the short-term time frame, Bitcoin can correct here. But now this is why you need to take the crypto course, because you need to learn this in more understanding. Because on the weekly, it's time to be buying, right? On the daily, it's time to be buying. It's oversold, heading up. On the 4-hourly, so on the bigger time frames, it's going up. On the 4-hourly, now is the time, it's not yet time to be shorting. Why? Because it has to cross the dotted lines and it has to turn and cross to go down. Right now it's still crossed to head up. Here was crossing to head down. It crossed the dotted lines, the blue and the red line. The red line crossed over, the blue line crossed over the red line. That was the time to short once it actually turns to go down. So right now, Bitcoin hasn't gone above the dotted lines. It's going to turn, once it turns to head down and crosses, that's the time to go short. At this point here where it crosses and heads down, that's the time to go short. Right now, it's still a long. Why? Because on the daily, it's got the stochastic is very oversold heading up. On the weekly, it's very oversold heading up. On the 4 hourly, it's slightly overbought, but not yet fully overbought and not yet crossed to head down. So that was a little bit of a trick. Now, what that can mean is that can also mean that if it crosses quickly, it can get a very short-term correction, for example, onto this dotted line, but on the longer-term time frames, it's still heading up. So that's where you got to be a little bit careful, right? And this is why you need to use the other indicators as well. We have volume. We need to use the squeeze mob indicator, which I teach you all of these. The squeeze mob is going towards the green side. So it's indicating that we're going to be heading up on the squeeze mob. The RSI is not yet above the dotted line. So the RSI and the stochastic are heading there, but they're not yet overbought. So that means we've got more time to be going up. But it's indicating on the stochastic, now it's indicating that we're going to very soon in the short term have a correction. But still in the very, very short term time frame, we're still heading up. So that's why you need to take the, it did it again. That's why you need to take the course to really understand this in more depth. But that's still a very good indicator that in the short term we can have a little bit of a correction, but in the very near term we can still have more pump, but it's close to correcting. But in the longer term time frames, it's still heading up. So any shorts we take is only very temporary, and you don't want to be shorting that much here. That's why I'm buying more. Why? Because if you short here on the stochastic, yes, on the short term time frame, that's the correct move, but you're going against the longer term time frames. On the daily, which is the bigger time frame, it's saying to buy. On the weekly, or go long. On the weekly, it's also saying to go long. So that's why it's not the best. Going short, you can short on the 4 hourly, but it's still got more time to go up. And two, it's going against the overall trend. So I would actually take a long here. And it's a very nice long. Why? Because we have this we can take a very short, let's look on the hourly. On the hourly also, it's not overbought, it's heading down, so we're getting a little bit of a correction. So that indicates that it can pull back a little bit, but it's still going to reset the stochastic and still head up. So this is a nice place to take a long. So now I'm going to show you how I would take a long. Also on the EMA ribbons, we're above the EMA ribbons. They're acting as support on the hourly. On the 4 hourly, they're acting as we're inside the EMA ribbons. Normally they're rejected from the EMA ribbons, so it can have a temporary recovery. Pullback on the Crypto Guru bot, it's saying a buy. You get the Crypto Guru bot in the Crypto Master course. Now I would actually be taking a long here on Bitcoin on the 4 hour, but I wouldn't take it right now. I would wait till it pulls back here onto this trend line. So you can see this trend line. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated, and why I recommend you take the Crypto Master course, everyone. Because that's where it gets a little bit complicated. But now where I would take the long is not right now. I would wait till it corrects back. On the stochastic, on the 15 minutes, we're also overbought. So on the 15 minutes, now I've zoomed in. You can see that most likely we're going to pull back. So I wouldn't open the trade right now. We're climbing on this trend line here. You can see it's climbing on this trend line. But that's where I would open the long. After it pulls back to the support here of this trend line, that's when I would open the long if you haven't been open on the long right now. Or you can take profit on this daily resistance. But I think it's going to break through. That all the indicators in my experience are telling me that Bitcoin most likely is going to break through this resistance. So you could take a long right now, but the best time to take a long would be here. Why? Because we can see that we've got support here. This was a previous resistance. This was a previous resistance. This was a previous support. So Bitcoin can pull back here and then open the trade and go long. So I'd actually open the trade a little bit lower than where we are right now. I'd open it on these supports here. So you can see, so how you're seeing that was a support is here. You can see when it came up, that was a support, a resistance. That was a resistance. That was a support when we bounced off it. That was a support when we bounced off it. So if Bitcoin corrects and resets the stochastic on the 4 hourly, that will use it as support. So that's the time to open a trade. And why this is a very nice trade is we can take very little risk. We can set the stop loss just below the weekly support and this trend line. So we can set the stop loss at 20,400. So the trade will open. So remember, the trade opens on the middle. The trade I've set will set to open at 20,700. and the stop loss is at 20,400. So I'm taking so little risk, and the potential area of the trade is the upper end of this channel here. The upper end of this channel is the potential trade. So up here, 23,000 is the take profit. So now I set the take profit, which is 23,000, and you can see how amazing this trade is. Why? Because we're risking $338. You can see down there, $338. See how I click this long? So I'm setting up a long position. I click down here and I click long, and that sets up this long position, this one here. And you can see now I'm risking $338 to make $2,376. You heard that right. I'm risking $330 to make $2,300 unleveraged, everyone. That's unleveraged. I'm risking $300 to make $2,000. Where else can you risk $300 to make $2,300? Like, for example, that's like if you bought, it's amazing ROI, and the ratio is 7-to-1. So every $1,000 you risk, the potential gain is $7,000 ratio. Now with 10x leverage, that would be 110% profit with 10x leverage. That would be $23,000 of profits if I use 10x leverage, if I buy one Bitcoin. So now we've got the trade set up, right? So what I'm expecting Bitcoin to do right now, I'm expecting, because on the 4 hourly and on the hourly, we're overbought on the stochastic, right? It's overbought, it can pull back a little bit, possibly. But what I'm expecting is Bitcoin pulls back a little bit, which it's doing right now since I started saying this. Bitcoin is pulling back, and I expect it to pull back, execute my trade, and then head back up and do an epic risk to reward ratio trade. Why do I take so little risk? Because I have this weekly support line down here, which is a very strong support, and I've got this trend line that Bitcoin's been moving, and I just have to set my stop loss. So what does that mean, stop loss? It means if Bitcoin goes below 20,300, it will close the trade automatically in a loss. So now I'm going to set this trade on Bybit. So you can actually set the same trade as me. You can see me set the trade now. So everyone understanding how I set this long potential trade. Now I'm going to set the trade. Careful on shorting Solana. I agree, because Bitcoin can pump. Massively ascending. Careful of shorting Solana. Yes. Your day, bro, got any nice alts along? I'm going to show you now. We're going to show you how to set up the Bitcoin. Who's following along with me now? Now we're going to set that Bitcoin trade that I've identified on TradingView. So you've signed up to TradingView, to Bybit, on the link down below in the description. You've deposited Bitcoin or USDT or cryptos to start trading. You've now gone on to TradingView. You've taken the crypto master course, which will be preferable. So you really it's 12 lessons that teach you in 12 hours everything that I'm doing in much more less. Like this video is like 30 minutes. You've now learned how to identify the trade on TradingView, and once you take the crypto master course and you practice more and more, it's going to get easier. And I'm going to show you how quickly I can identify multiple trades. And now we're going to set the trade on Bybit. Let's do it. So now we've got the trade set up. We know how the trade is going to act. We're going to open the trade at 20,763. The stop loss is going to be at 20,424, and the take profit is going to be at 23,140. And now I'm going to show you how amazing this is. I'm going to do a Bitcoin trade right now. Bitcoin trade. So Bitcoin USDT, you can see at the top here, Bitcoin USDT. We're going to open the trade at the limit price. Market means it opens the trade instantly at the current price. Limit trade means it's going to open the trade at a set price. And we know our set price. Remember, the set price is that middle line. The set price is where the trade opens at 20,000 here. The set price is here. This middle line at 20,763. That's where the trade we're going to set to open. Why? Because again, we expect Bitcoin to reset a little bit the stochastic, open the trade, bounce, and head towards this 23,000. And that's the trade we have set up. So we're going to open it at 20,763. So order price 20,763. What does that mean? It means Bitcoin will execute this trade. It will open at 20,763. Say you only had $100. You can do 100. You can only ever risk maximum 2% on your. You can, Junaid, you can withdraw from Bybit. I can withdraw right now. If I want, I'll show you right now. I'll make a withdrawal and withdraw like $10,000 or $1,000 just so you can see that you can withdraw. Joe, I remember you were telling people to buy Tesla near Uber and never told people it was just a trade. I'm so glad I listened to you. I was always skeptical. Joe, I was buying Tesla, if you've been following my videos, from $50. I was buying Tesla on my videos 2 years ago when it was $200 before the whole massive run up. So don't listen to me. You always make your own decisions, everyone. I show you what I'm doing with my money. This is not financial advice. You always make, Joe, good that you made your own decision. I'm very glad that you did. But you can see that what I do, and I'm pretty sure whatever you're buying you can see I'm showing what I do with my money. You always make your own decisions. I'm glad that you listened. You did your own decision, Joe. So now I'm showing you what I am doing. So, okay, say now I'm going to risk $100. Maximum net. So what you put in here, order cost, is how much you risk. Never risk more than 2% of your portfolio, everyone. Never risk more than 2% of your portfolio. On this trade, I will actually use a high leverage. Why? Because the stop loss and the take profit, it's risking very little amount of money for such a potential gain that I would open a higher leverage trade here. Now, I never recommend using high leverage. Like when you're getting started, use 1x, 2x maximum, like never use high. But I'm going to use here on this trade because it's using very little. Okay, I'll use maximum. Right now on this Bitcoin trade, I'm 9x. So let's keep it at 9x. On this bigger Bitcoin trade, which is up 3,989 in the profits, I'm up 9x. It's 9x leverage. So the trade will open at 20,700. I'm going to open an order. Say you have $100. Okay, I'll risk $1,000, but never. So, okay, what this means, if you have $100,000 for trading and investing in crypto, that means you can't risk more than $2,000 on any one trade if you have $100,000. If you have $10,000, that means you can't, no more than 2%. So $10,000 means you can only risk $200. If you have $1 million, 2% would mean that you could risk $20,000 on this trade, right? Which, for example, on this trade, I'm using on this Bitcoin trade, I'm using $11,000 I'm risking. But on here, but it's not correct in the fact that you can actually, because you're setting a stop loss. So for example, if I use $1,000 on this trade and Bitcoin opens, so I'm going to use $1,000, 20,700. Say I make the take profit, which we said is the top of this target, 23,140. That's the take profit. And say the stop loss is at 20,424. That means I'm risking $146. If it hits my stop loss, I'm risking $146 to make $1,030. I'm risking $146 to make $1,036. And see, that means even though I'm using $1,000, because I'm setting a stop loss, which is the stop loss is 20,424, I'm not risking that full $1,000. I'm only risking $146. So that means you can only risk ever 2% of your portfolio. So to risk $146, that means I would need to have a portfolio of $10,000, right? So that means I could, if I have, say I have $100,000 to trade, I could make that a $10,000 long on Bitcoin and setting a stop loss of $20,400. What was it? $20,424. $424. That means I could risk if I have $100,000, that means I could risk even more, $1,469, and say I set my take profit at the target 23,140. Let's just make it 23,000 so it's easier. I'm risking $1,400 to make $9,600. That's how you set the trade, and then you would just click open long. But I can't do it now because I've got this Bitcoin trade already open, but I'm going to do the next altcoin. Actually, Joe, I told everyone to sell all stocks in November, if you actually recall. Please be kind enough to show you withdraw on Bybit. Sure, Lachlan, I can show you how to withdraw. So now, everyone, let's do Ethereum. Because I've got a Bitcoin trade already open, I can't open another one. I've got Ethereum trade already open, I can't open another one. Exactly, Connor, you can't get liquidated if you set your stop loss. James, you're on BTC USD, but your trade's on BTC USD. Is this limit accurate? No, this is BTC USDT. It's BTC USDT. Okay, so I've got already a Bitcoin trade and I've already got Ethereum, already got a Doge, so I can't actually execute the trades. So now we're going to find a trade that we can actually execute, and I'm going to open that trade. Let's do Bit, because Bit was looking very bullish. So this is all the altcoins that I'm following on my watch list on TradingView. So we've got XRP up 13% today, Coinbase, the stock up 13%, near 4%. I've started buying back in stocks, by the way. I sold all stocks back in November when I made that warning video, and now I'm also starting to buy Coinbase, Facebook, Meta. I'm buying Facebook, Visa. I was buying, if you followed my live trades, I've been buying Tesla, I've been buying TSM and Qualcomm. But let's do a trade on Bit, because I like Bit, and Bit hit our take profit yesterday. It hit our take profit yesterday. So this was a previous trade that we had on Bit. You can see, so everyone knows how to read this trade now, right? Who knows how to read this trade? This was a trade that we actually opened. You can see on my Telegram, I actually opened this trade on Bit and it hit our take profit. You can see here, this was the trade that we had set on Bit. This was set, how long ago? This was set 6:19 p.m. yesterday, I think. June 23rd, this trade was set on Bit. You can all see this, right? This was the trade. 42 cents opening, 42 cents one closing, 43.7 taking profit, right? And this is where Bit is now. So you can see that that trade already executed. Does everyone know how to read this trade? Wait, I gotta go back in. Does everyone know how to read the trade? Who took that Bit trade from the TradingView chat room? From the Telegram chat room? Nice. Congratulations. So everyone saw how that Bit trade from June 23rd hit the take profit already. Chingzi, congratulations. Andre, you don't see how it hit the take, you don't understand how it hit the take profit? Who understands how it already hit the take profit? I'm going to show you, if you don't, I'll show you again how it already, so this was the trade that was on Telegram that I posted on the 23rd for Bit. And it's already, so this was the 23rd, Bitcoin, Bit long. This is not Bitcoin, this is Bit, Bybit's token. Take profit at 43.7, stop loss at 42.1, and take open at 42.5. 10x leverage will be 20% profit. This was the trade which opened at, in the middle line is where it opened, 0.425. The stop loss was 0.421, and the take profit was 0.437. Right, that was the trade. And now when we go to TradingView, you can see that trade already, Bit already did that trade. It already went from that trade and hit the take profit and went higher. Can everyone see that now? Yes, you can also buy spot, or you can go long without leverage on Bybit. Vince, you just set the here on where you can set the leverage to just 1, and then see at the top here you click how much leverage you want. You can go up to 100, or you can go down to 1. It means how much times your trade you're doing. So if you did $1,000 and you do 10x leverage, it will be a $10,000 trade. Or for example, this Bitcoin long that I have open right now. This is $11,000 with 9x leverage, so it's a $101,000 trade. I'm risking 11,000, but with this one I didn't set a stop loss because I'm trying to catch the bottom on Bitcoin here. But for example, Doge, on this Dogecoin trade, I'm doing on Doge, I've got a 39 times long leverage. So that's a very risky long. But because I've got a very tight stop loss, and that's paid off, because you can see here, I only risked $97 to make $869 on this Doge long. And this is in profit now, $538. So now I'm going to show you how we would set this Bit trade from where we are right now. So that previous Bit trade already hit. It already hit. So now I'm going to set a new trade on Bit. If it identifies, I see straight away that we've got a nice pattern on. And I teach you technical analysis where you can identify patterns. But on the 4 hourly, we can pull back. But why I'm seeing that Bit is looking very bullish is we have a big W formation that's going to break the neckline. A W formation is a very bullish technical pattern that's tested. Now this is the third test of this resistance. It bounced off this resistance, came down. It bounced off this resistance, came down, the same resistance. Now it's trying to push through this resistance. The third retest, a W formation, is a very bullish pattern because usually one test, two tests, break through, and it will move the base of the base of the W. So the target of this movement will be this distance here. So it's very profitable trade on Bit is potentially taking us to 47 cents. Everyone see that W pattern? That's why I see. But again, the stochastic on the 4 hourly is very overbought, so we need to wait for a pullback. But this trade long also, look at this, look on the daily. The stochastic on the daily is curling up from very oversold, heading up very strongly. Let's look on the weekly. Very oversold, turning to head up, very oversold, turning to head up with volume. So this is on the longer term time frames looking extremely bullish on Bit. But on the 4 hourly, we're very overbought. We can pull back a bit, but in my opinion, it's not going to pull back much. So I would set the long. This is how I would set a long on Bit. The next one, we already had this long already executed and made profit, 20% profit on this with 10x leverage. Now I'm going to set a long on Bit here, and I'm going to set a big one because the target is very big. So I'm going to set it on this support here because on the 4 hourly, we're overbought on the stochastic. So it can pull back to this support, right? So see the stochastic, for it to come, it can reset here on the shorter term time frame. So I expect that Bit could pull back a little bit, execute the trade, and then move up to the target like I showed you on Bitcoin. We can have a little bit of a pullback in the next few hours on Bitcoin, on altcoins. So I'm going to show you how I would set this trade on Bit right now. So I would set the stop loss below the weekly and the daily support, and I would put the take profit all the way up here on this top of the W breakout at this resistance. And this W breakout, the distance that we measured here, which was this distance right? It was this distance here. That's what gave us this target. Look how it perfectly lines up with the resistance back here in June 14th. That target lines up perfectly with that resistance, right? So that's a very good target in my opinion. And this is an epic trade. It's a 3.78 ratio trade. For every $1,000 I risk, I have the potential to make $3,780. It's a 3.78 ratio trade. I'm risking 2% to make 7.7%. With 10x leverage, that'll be 77%. And now I'm going to set this trade on Bit. In my opinion, we're not going to pull back, but I think Bit, from what I'm seeing on all time frames, it looks like we're going to have some big movement on altcoins and on Bitcoin to the upside. So I would actually open the trade right now. Normally, it would be better to wait till the stochastic. See how the stochastic on the 15 minutes is turning up, hourly it's turning up. Even though it's overbought on the 4 hourly, to me it's looking very bullish. So I'm going to actually open the trade on Bit right now. I'm not going to wait for a pullback. So I'm going to set the stop loss below the daily, weekly, and I'm going to open the trade right now, stop loss below the daily, weekly, and the take profit at that target. And I'm going to open this trade right now because it looks very bullish. So I'm opening the trade at 0.443. So I'm at 442. So I'm going to open a trade now on Bit. So I go here and I'm going to go Bit, B-I-T, Bit USDT. Oops, Bit USDT. So B-I-T, B-I-T. So Bit USDT. I'm going to open a trade. I'm going to go long on Bit. I'm going to make sure you always do isolated. Don't do cross. Cross uses all the money in your account. Isolated only uses the money that you're setting for the trade. I'm going to do a 10x leverage because Bit can pull back a little bit. So I don't want to have too much high leverage on this trade. I'm going to 10x leverage. I'm going to open the trade at where we're sitting here at 0.442, the trade is going to open. I'm going to risk, it's a 10x leverage trade. I'm going to risk $500 on this. I'm going to put $500 towards this trade. Actually, yeah, $500, which will be 10x leverage, will be $5,000 trade. I'm going to set my take profit at the top of the target, right? So the target is 0.47 cents. So to target 0.476. And I'm going to put the stop loss at the support 421, 0.421. That's where my stop loss is being set. Here, 0.421. Wait, where is it? No, the stop loss is here. 0.431. 0.431. So I'm risking $124 to make $384. And now, so I've set the stop loss, I've set the take profit. So again, when you're looking at the stop loss and the take profit, I've already set the trade before I've even started. Before the trade is open, the trade is already set. I know when I'm going to take profit up here. I know when I'm going to take profit, which is up here. I know when the trade is going to open, which is here. And I know when my stop loss is going to trigger, which is here. The trade is already set before I've even started. So I'm going to risk $124 to make $384, confirm. Now I'm going to open long, $500 long with 10x leverage. It's going to be a $5,000 trade. Right? With 10x leverage, $5,000, confirm. And that order is now open. I have now set, the trade is now open on Bit. So now I've got 4 traders open. I've got this Doge trade up $538 in the profits. So I've got this Ethereum trade, $210 profits. I've got this Bitcoin trade, $3,691 profits. And now I've got this Bit trade that I just opened. This Bit trade is a $4,943 trade. I'm risking $100 and something. My stop loss and take profit is set, risking $123 to make $380. That trade is now set. Booyah. And stream. Hopefully everyone saw me set that trade. Let's check. Did everyone see me set that trade? Who followed along with my trade? Who saw my trade? You have to always make your own due diligence, everyone. Make your own decisions. This is the trade that I set with my money. I'm not telling you to open this trade, but this is what I set. And I'm curious who's also agrees with this trade. And it's very little risk. I'm risking $124 to make $380. That's what's beautiful. That Bitcoin trade, I'm risking, James, too long without leverage. Do you have to select derivatives tab and select, yes, correct. Vince, exactly. You select 1x leverage, and then it's just no leverage. 1x means it's times 1. So just then I did times 10. So my $500 trade times 10, I did $5,000 trade because I used 10x leverage, right? So if you did times 3, my $500 trade would be a $1,500 trade. That was the trade we set on Bit. Okay, now guys, we've been talking for a long time. This was a little bit, I went like really deep in this, and you learn it much more in my crypto master course. I've taught more than 6,500 students in that course. I've taught tens of thousands of people, but in that one course, more than 6,500 students, and you learn it in much more detail what I'm showing you now, but it goes deeper, all the technicals, all the technical patterns, etc. Okay, now if you have some questions, so we've got BNB, I'm going to do them fast, and I'm going to show you how quick I can set up the trade. So I'm going to do BNB Doge because you guys requested it. So look how quickly now, once you learn what to do, it doesn't take so long to do these things. And that was a Bitcoin short, a BNB short that I had before, and that actually failed on that BNB short. So BNB we go into the weekly, stochastic very oversold on the weekly. On the daily, it's looking very bullish. We've got volume coming in. On the 4 hourly, we're slightly overbought. On the hourly, we're coming down, so we're going to have a little bit of a correction on BNB. It's already showing us that we'll have slightly correction. I'm already seeing bullish technical patterns. Squeeze mob is going to the green side, so we might not. It's looking very bullish. RSI is also heading up. It's coiling to head up. I would actually be opening. We've got a very cool pattern playing out here. We've got an inverse head and shoulders, everyone. Shoulder, head, shoulder. This is an inverse head and shoulders, which is a very bullish pattern. The way inverse head and shoulders play out is it's a head and shoulder, which is a bearish pattern, which usually drops, but it's opposite. It's in reverse. It's an inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. For a big movement to the breakout, it will move the distance of the head. So we're going to have some big movement here. The distance of the head is the target, this one here. So I would open a trade on BNB. Here, I'll get rid of these previous so I'd open that here. That would be the target. So BNB is about to go on a big run, everyone, and I can take a very little risk here. So this risk to reward ratio is very good. Why? Because I can put the open just below the weekly. So here, weekly support, I don't need to go that much on the support. I could actually make the trade even tighter. I can make the stop loss to risk very little because we've got strong supports here. So that's the trade I would take on BNB. Everyone know how to open the trade? So the trade would open at $232. The stop loss, I would actually wait because on the 4 hourly we're slightly overbought, so I would pull back a little bit. So I'd wait till the trade opens just here, and I'll put the stop loss there. So I'm risking, it's a 4.9 ratio trade. I would open the trade at $228, the stop loss at $228, and take profit at $268. So for every dollar I'm risk, it's a 17% profit trade without leverage. 17% with 10x leverage will be 170% profit trade. For every $1,000 I'm risking, I can make $4,978. So that's the trade that I've identified. Everyone got that? Did everyone see that trade on BNB right now? Do you see how I quickly set the trade, how I found the trade? Now the trade is already set. I know where my trade is going to open, I know where my take profit is going to be, and I know where my stop loss is going to be. Did everyone follow that on BNB? That's how quickly, once you know what you're doing, you can identify trades. That's how fast, in seconds now, I can identify a trade, for example, on BNB. Did everyone see that trade on BNB? Or did it disconnect? The trade setup. The chat seems like it's lagged. Could anyone see the trade on BNB just then? I think it lagged, right? Anyone, can you still see me right now? Is it lagging? Is it active? I can't see any new chats.